Because of global warming and population increase, a variety of environmental problems that can impact our daily life have emerged, including sea level rise, wildfire, hurricane, and urbanization. This video is one of our A-STEM series that describe influence of hurricane on toxic mercury in a coastal river in the southeastern US. First, let us understand where mercury comes from. Mercury, with a chemical symbol of Hg, can be emitted to the atmosphere through a wide range of combustion processes, including volcano eruption, coal burning for electricity, wildfire, etc. Once emitted, mercury can transport through the air to circulate the entire planet. At some point, mercury in air can be absorbed by plants, or get into soil and water through rainfall. In general, forests can absorb mercury from the environment and has been considered an important sink of atmospheric mercury. The coastal wetland forest is one of the hotspots of mercury sink. Forest perturbation can affect the mercury pool in southeastern forest, which is a sink hotspot that accumulates a lot of mercury. If these forests experience any disturbance, what will happen to these mercury? In particular, what happens to the mercury if hurricane hit these forests? Scientists selected a blackwater river in South Carolina and selected multiple sampling points to take this water sample before, during, and after the landfall of major hurricanes. Scientists took water samples from 3 periods of time to get a better understanding on how hurricane impacts movement of mercury in this blackwater river in coastal South Carolina. Then, scientists took water samples from 3 periods of time to get a better result on how hurricane impacts movement of mercury in this blackwater river. Samples were brought back to the laboratory. Water samples were filtered to remove particles. Water samples were separated to analyze total mercury and also methylmercury in the water samples. All samples would need to be preserved by chemical reagents. For total mercury analysis, scientists added reagents and heated the samples in a water bath to destroy all substance holding mercury. After digestion steps, water samples were analyzed by a highly sensitive instrument called cold vapor atomic fluorescence spectroscopy for the amount of mercury in the water samples, for both total mercury and methylmercury. According to the study results, there are more mercury released by the heavy rainfall induced by the hurricane contained. In short, mercury in the coastal forests are mobilized out into the Blackwater River, and mercury eventually would get into the estuary and into the coastal ocean systems. Methylmercury was also found to increase as this toxic form of mercury was produced within the coastal forest soil by some bacteria. Methylmercury can bioaccumulate in the plants and animals in the Blackwater River, as well as any downstream ecosystems. Mercury would be freely moving in the river toward downstream environment after the landfall of hurricane. Mercury can have different forms and not all forms of mercury are equally toxic. In general, mercury in rain or air is inorganic mercury and is not very toxic. When this mercury seeps into soil and sediments, bacteria with HTCA genes can transform it to a highly toxic form named as methylmercury. This toxic methylmercury can go up in a food chain from bacteria to water fleas, shrimps, small fish, and large fish. When going up each food chain layer, more methylmercury accumulates in the animals. Therefore, there can be very highly dangerous levels of methylmercury in the high predator fish and animals, even in remote forested regions. Then fishes can eat shrimps, and this can cause biomagnification, meaning increase in methylmercury level during feeding. Therefore, at the higher level of the food chain, there is a greater risk of mercury poisoning for human consumption of fish and other seafood products. Humans mainly can take up the methylmercury through eating fish and seafood products. Methylmercury accumulates in our body, and methylmercury is only very slowly removed from our body. Mercury overdose can affect our health. Common symptoms include headaches, liver, and kidney damage. Recent studies also suggest that mercury can interfere our reproduction and cardiovascular systems.